I think we're on. Good evening, everybody. It is 5:30 here in the United States, which makes it, well, the clocks went back for the UK last weekend, so they're 4 hours ahead. But this coming weekend we'll be catching up again. All right, so we're actually doing a cracking up Halloween. This is the witch's hat. I don't know why anyone would get me a witch's hat, because although people do call me a witch, I've been known to be called a witch a lot from a lot of people, but I'm not really a witch at all. Of course, I can't speak for my guest, Kay, who is our co-host for Cracking Up. Kay, are you a witch?
I'm a witch in training.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
It is a very...
Looks like the sorting hat.
It's a very flimsy hat. But look, what I have here is I've got some ghosties. I think they're actually skeletons. Can you actually see what they are, Chris? I'm not sure.
Lots of little legs.
Yeah, I can see a lot of legs, maybe some skulls to it.
Okay, I'll bring them forward later. Of course, we have Grey Eagle, who is right by my side here. And we're going to be telling one or two little spooky tales. We're hoping that anyone who's going to join us tonight can join in. If you've got a spooky tale you want to share, something that's spookily happened to you, it could have been 30 years ago, or it could have been yesterday, or even today. We want to hear all your spooky stories. You might also want, I'm going to just pull these across here. I do have lots of spirits. I've got vodka. Look at that. Big giant bottle of vodka.
Oh my goodness. Very nice.
Got some Pimm's, which I think most people in America won't know what it is, but we do know what it is in England. Good stuff. And I've got some rum, I thought, and they're in my cauldron.
Oh,
These are what we're going to be hopefully imbibing later. But I thought, look, it wouldn't be Halloween, would it, if I didn't bring the spirits with me? So there are my spirits. Okay. Now.
and I've got cold tea.
Oh, gee. Oh, wow. Okay, then you need to put a little splash of whiskey in there. See, I know you very well.
Yes.
So, do we believe in Halloween? Where did Halloween come from? Why do we celebrate Halloween? There are a lot of people who believe in Halloween. There are a lot of people who believe in witches. There are lots of, shall I call them, covens around the world. We have white witches, which are the good ones. Looks like I'm a black one, although I do have silver, so anyway, what can I tell you? But there are a lot of spooky tales around witches, and there are people who do truly believe and in fact celebrate their witchiness. Yeah, that'll do, right? Witchiness. But before we begin, I'm going to keep repeating this every now and again because it is spooky. I'm going to show you my, courtesy of Chris, all of these skeletons.
Oh, very cute.
Which are kind of cute. And if you're standing behind someone and you shake them, I guess they wouldn't be expecting that. I'm going to put those there to give us a little ambience. And in a minute, Kay, I'm going to ask you what you do on Halloween. My grandson has his Halloween outfit. Believe it or not, he is a guardsman guarding the palace. He's got a red uniform and a big, tall Busby hat.
Oh, lovely.
He looks so good.
Lovely.
I told him that his grandpa, who was a soldier all of his life, I said his grandpa, silly grandpa, would be very, very happy that he's finally joined the army. Of course, he's only 12, but he loves this uniform. He thinks he looks really good in it, and he's really proud of it. So we
Well,
do get dressed up a little, and there's going to be trick and treating here. We don't well, we didn't when I was young. When I was a girl, we didn't do trick or treating. We didn't do any of that stuff. It's I think, a very American thing to do, and it's only since the days of television. I don't always think I'm that old. We did have television when I was a girl, but it's only since we started getting since Great Britain started getting, all the different American shows that we even knew about trick or treating. Never mind getting dressed up and doing spooky stuff. So it's for us it's quite a new concept. What do you think, Kay?
We didn't really do it when I was small, but when the girls were small, I used to take them around the village with an old pan, and
Yes, because we
because
we
we
knew
dressed
the
up.
American traditions, and
Yes.
we adopted them, I think.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm with Charlie here, my grandson, tonight at his house. He'll pop up and say hello very quickly, maybe not. And his father was a real guardsman, Queen's Guard.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
Used to wear the busby, and there he is.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Charlie and I have been down into the shops to get some food tonight, and we were following crowds of kids around the village, watching them, all very young and excited with the pumpkins and the hats and the. Yeah.
Has Charlie got a costume?
No, Charlie hasn't got a costume tonight. Have a look, Charlie. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing my pajamas.
Oh, okay. Charlie's
well, that works.
that works.
I'll absolutely take that. All right.
Yeah.
So, Chris, is there anybody there?
Yeah, we have a lot of people in the chat room. No real questions as yet,
Okay.
but everybody's saying Happy Halloween.
Okay.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
As even before the show started, things in my house started to get a little spooky. Not that anything is spooky as far as I'm concerned, but I want to tell you who we've got here in my house, who we've got with us, which is really, really great. Of course, my daddy always comes, but he's here with my brother Terry, and I don't see him too often, but I've got them both looking at me, and so they're here to join us with Halloween. My dad says we're the spooks. Another meaning of the word spook, you do realize, is a spy, because people used to call spies spooks. And when my father was in the army many years ago, he was a genuine spook. My brother was in the military in what used to be called Rhodesia, and is now called Zimbabwe, and he was a spook. So that we've got two genuine spooks here.
That's pretty spooky in itself, isn't it? It's quite scary, actually, that idea of the spy.
Yeah, they did get up to some stuff, that's true. And then, not surprisingly, we have a birthday boy who's standing just to my left here. So Chris, Mike is right here, joining in the fun and joining in the Halloween stuff. I wish you could all see Chris's costume, because Chris definitely for anything and everything. And at the moment, she's wearing a butterfly costume, and she's even wearing some little. Can you show yourself, Chris?
Oh yeah,
that's really.
Can we look at that butterfly?
A butterfly, you're a butterfly. That's pretty
Now-
cute,
Now
Chris.
she also brought a bee outfit for me, but I'm sorry,
It's a queen bee.
I refused. I'm sorry. I mean, even I
Oh,
put the
dear.
hat on gingerly earlier on for a photo, but it's sort of, if I had to wear it, I'd have to jam it on my head, and
And then it wouldn't come off.
then it probably
And they'd be stuck on.
even though I have been accused of having a pinhead, which I do, because I have a very tiny head. I have to wear, if I buy hats,
Better
I
than being a
love
big
wearing
head.
hats, but I would have to put Velcro or something inside, because I do have this genuinely little pinhead, a little tiny head. Right. Now, before we start, Kay, I hope you're ready with a spooky story. It might be a spooky
Absolutely.
story that we're both involved in, or it
Um,
might be a spooky story that you've had on your own.
Well, I had quite an experience that I didn't think would be an experience, but turned out to be a little bit more spooky than I imagined it would be a couple of weeks ago.
Well, can
So
I stop you there?
absolutely.
Because we have to begin this spooky evening with my very, very, or one of my very, very favorite tongue twisters, which I'm going to say because it's appropriate. So, are we ready? Would you like to hear it?
Yep.
Are we going? Okay. And if anyone out there has a tongue twister, share them with us, because I for one love tongue twisters. Right. So, are you ready? For Halloween, to kick off the evening with some spirits, I'm going to open that vodka in a minute. 3 little ghostesses eating buttered toastesses. No, I've got it wrong. Let's do it again. 3 little ghostesses sitting on postesses, eating buttered toastesses, licking their fistuses up to their wristuses. Oh, what beastuses to have such feastuses. You like that one? I do it one more time and then we're going to
I've never heard it before.
Well, you should have, because it's me and I've known it for years. Are you ready?
Ready.
3 little ghostesses sitting on postesses, eating buttered toastesses, licking their fistuses up to their wristuses. Oh, what beastuses to have such feastuses. And that's the Halloween tongue twister. I might give you another one, which is not at all spooky. But Kate, let's hear your spooky story.
Okay. Very, very, very briefly.
No, go ahead.
It came about a joint friend of ours is looking for material for doing some writing. And she's very interested in ghost stories in our locality, Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire, north of Middle England, and which is festooned with spooky stories. We have so much history. And so she said, there's a wood nearby where I live called Scratter Wood. And she said,
Well, then can I just say, for those who don't understand a wood, the woods, the copse, it's like a group of trees around anyway.
Yes.
So there are these woods called
there are these woods called
Scrattered
Scratter Woods, on the outskirts of small industrial town in the Midlands. Not very isolated, surrounded by farmland and farms and a small town. And I said, well, let's have a go. Just let's go 6, 7 o'clock at night and I'll drive you there. And we had a meal and then we went out and we were in high spirits.
Was it dark?
And it was dark by the time we got there. Yes,
Okay.
quite spookily dark actually. And we approached on a long lane, a farm track, knowing that there was no turn off. So we were high hedges and narrow lane, and we were straight into this woodland. So it's sort of, I drive carefully up this track, and she's saying, what happens if we meet something, blah, blah. So the tension's building, and I know that I've got to keep my feet grounded because, you know, I don't know what
Your
I'm
imagination can run
Yes,
wild.
yes. So I'm just thinking, okay, let's just do this properly. So I'm sort of almost poo-pooing everything and just saying, yeah. So we get there, we get out, and it's quite a narrow wood. So we step into the wood, and Violet's given us torches. So we've got torches each and big
Flashlight.
coats. Yes,
I'm interpreting for you. Keep going.
and we're going in. And as soon as I walk into this wood, it's quite narrow, but very calm and silent and very beautiful. Apart from the rubble that's been dumped by a lot of low-life people who are dumping rubbish and concrete and old domestic rubbish. So I don't walk very well through woods at night with a small torch. So I'm laden down with a huge stick, and I feel like Gandalf walking through this wood. And I'm trying to keep my head calm and sorted. And my friend, who's wonderful, is talking about all these things she's heard that go on. Now, the history behind this wood, it's at least a few hundred years old. And there's an old iron. What was this? Iron ore workings that were thousands of years old being excavated around the area. So I knew that it had some history. And as we're going in, I was saying, what are we looking for? And she said, well, there are lights shown in this wood, and they're flames. People see flames in the treetops. Okay, and how long has this been going on for? Hundreds of years. It's been hundreds of years, and these lights have always been seen. And we did ask somebody that we knew very well, and they said, by good advice, that these lights were known as sentinels.
Okay.
Okay, so we know that we're looking for some sentinels. We don't know what they're going to look like or what they're going to seem to be. But she's determined to find a sentinel, and I'm determined to help her. So we go into this wood looking for sentinels.
Okay.
And we get into the centre of the wood, and the torches go out, both of them at once.
Your flashlights both go
Our
out.
flashlights both go dead at the same time in the middle of the wood. And it was a little bit like that. And we both noticed the temperature drop. And I said, no, it's just a gust of wind. There's nothing going on. There's nothing going on. By this time, I've straddled an old tree stump that I can't climb over. So I'm not being
You're
very
not
agile.
going any further.
I'm not going any further. So we get our phones out so that we can see our way out of this scratter wood. And as we go out, she says, I see a light. I see a light. So both really quietly look, and it's a lorry passing on the A1.
It's a truck.
The truck.
Going along the road.
Yes.
Bordering the woods.
Okay, so now both feet planted firmly on the ground, feeling a little cold, and really I need to get into the field at the side of the wood. I am enjoying myself, and so is she, and we know that there's something there, but we haven't yet found it. So we go into the wood, and I stand on the outside of the wood, and she's watching and smelling, and she says, I smell something very bad. It's burning rubber. It's burning oil. It's burning oil. I smell burning oil. I don't smell it at that time. And we spend a lot of time circling this area and looking for this burning smell. And I said, sack it. I'm going back to the car. There's no spookiness. There's nothing. It's dead. I don't say that, but I walk back to the car. She joins me, a little bit disappointed. Get in the car. there's no lights on, there's no engine on, and the whole car smells of burning oil and
Inside the car.
inside the car. And it is a mystery. It is a mystery because the engine's not on, and that is as much as I can say happened, but it was spooky.
Okay. Well, I think first of all, you're very brave to go into a woods in the middle of the night. I'm not going to advise anybody else to do that because
Don't do that.
who else is in the woods?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if you're going to go ghost hunting, please make sure that you are safe. When I go ghost hunting, of course, I've done it a lot. Can I just clarify for everybody here that I do not believe in ghosts. I believe in people. I believe in people who have died, people who are in the spirit world. I believe in them very much, but I do not. My dad is messing about here. I do not believe in ghosts, not even if they wear a white sheet and holes, you know, for your eyes. But I do believe in people, and I think that very often when people see something that they would mistakenly call a ghost, very often what they're seeing is the aura or the energy field around someone in the spirit world, because not everybody can see people in the spirit world in the same way that I can, but we can see auras and we can sense auras. So I've got no comment about your stinky car or the smell, but hey.
Oh, come on, you have.
No, nothing. I got nothing because, well, first of all, I'd have to be there.
I know, I'm joking.
Or if I'm not there, I'm going to ask Greg, or was there anything to it? And you won't like his answer because the answer's no.
I know.
But I do
think
it's fun when you do these things with people. But this isn't really a ghost story. But I was telling this story to someone fairly recently, and it just reminded me. I had a couple who came to see me for a consultation. You will know them, John and Sue. Remember them, Kay? Anyway, John, they were John and Sue. And now when John called for an appointment, he refused to even give his name. In the end, he said, well, just say John. And that was all I knew about them. But they were a little bit early and I was running a little bit late. And I was in England. I was in my house in England and I'd lost a shoe. I'd got one shoe and I couldn't find the other shoe. And I ended up on my knees, searching under the bed, found the shoe. You can imagine by this time I'm a little harassed. I'm a little bit, I'm running late and I don't want to keep anybody, waiting. And I come out of my bedroom and there, standing in front of me at the top of the stairs, is this young girl. She's probably 13 or 14 years old. And she made me jump so much. And then I just said, oops, my ghost just fell off. Let's put them back up there. And then, so I come out of the bedroom and there she is standing at the top of the stairs, just looking at me. And I say, but sort of, once I'd gotten over the sort of the surprise of her, I said, oh, I see. So you're the reason I've given up my day off today, because I'd actually fitted this couple in for some reason. I'd said, when they called for an appointment, I said, I'm awfully sorry. I don't have an appointment for several weeks, whatever. And then Gregor said to me, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. Because I hadn't had a day off in ages. And I didn't want to give my day off yeah, anyway, day off up. Anyway, so as I'm looking at her and I say to her, so you're the reason for my day off, giving my day up. I can't even say it. I've not even had a drink yet, and I can't even say it properly, but you all know exactly what. And at that, she races down the stairs in front of me. I'm running behind her. And by the time I get into the sitting room, she's standing between her mum and dad, looking at me and as pleased could be, because she knew, obviously, that I could see her, I could hear her, and she knew that there was a pretty good chance that she'd be able to communicate with her parents. You might think it's a ghost. I can remember when Samantha was about 10 years old, screaming her head off. She came out of her bedroom, and there was her silly grandpa standing you know, at the top of the stairs, and she immediately, she knew him. He died when she was 6 years old, and 10 years old, she came face to face with him. She screamed. I came running out to see what was going on, and her face was sheet white.
Oh,
So,
that's a surprise.
No more. We don't allow any more tricks like that, Dad. Just so you know. Now, we're going to go to the chat room in a minute. Somebody better be asking a question or two, otherwise we're done. It's over and done.
Oh, we got ghost stories.
Yeah. You had. I want to hear from people in the chat room though.
Yes.
What if they have to say anything? If they've got a question or what have you. But before we do that, I'm not going to. No, I'm not. No. Well, apparently I am going to sing "Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday to You." He's laughing, standing here looking at me. Happy birthday, my darling Mike, for Chris. Happy birthday to you. There you are. And if it's you know, any interest to you, Chris, he's singing "Happy Birthday" to you because your birthday's not too far off either. So to both of you, happy birthday. But we've got Mike here. We're getting a few other people here as well, which is very, very interesting. Kay.
Yes.
Got your mom.
Hi, Mom.
I cannot believe.
I can't believe.
For those of you listening, Kay's mum and I do have a little history. So can't believe she's here tonight. But anyway, she's
lovely.
She's waving furiously at you, and Grumpy Dad's here too. Just want to know. I've got to say Grumpy Dad because he's just as grumpy as he always was. Anyway,
together with each other, side by side.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I know.
That
is
interesting.
That's interesting. That is really spooky.
That really is spooky.
Right, Chris. Let's go to the chat room. How are we doing?
All right. Gary says, what do you get when you take out the inside of a hot dog?
Oh.
What do you get when you take out the inside of a hot dog? Skin and bones or skin? What? Okay, this is
a hollow weenie.
Oh no! Oh, that's a push.
That's good. I like that Halloweeny joke. You have to tell that to Charlie, and he'll probably use that at school. Very funny, right? If there are any more jokes like that one, we won't bother with them, Chris. Anybody else?
Heather's on from Ontario.
Who?
Heather.
Oh, hi, Heather.
And she's saying happy, do you pronounce this Samhain? Samhain? I'm sure there's a different way to pronounce it, but I think that's the precursor to Halloween, isn't it?
I don't know. I've no idea.
I'm pretty sure it is.
See, you obviously can all now see how uneducated I am about these things. I don't know. It sort of sounds familiar. Something sounds familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Anyone else want to say anything there?
Heather says, I participated in a witches walk last Friday. My granddaughters participated, which made it extra special.
Yeah, I would imagine. So Heather, are you actually a witch or were you just pretending? I mean, you know, you never know, do
Is it
you?
a walk? Is it a walk to look for witches?
Yeah, that sounds like, yeah, witch's walk. I wonder what it is. Anyway, anything else, Chris, before we...
Rhonda says, my uncle on the other side kept turning on my TV and my blender. He was quite the prankster when he was here on Earth. Seems to have followed him in the spirit world.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I really do. Anyone else?
Let's see. Judith has two things. She says, I had an encounter with aliens in my home. Not spooky, but frightening. Not a Halloween story. And a couple of weeks after my sister passed over, she came to show me how young and radiant and joyful beyond words she is. She relayed a number of things with that intention of showing me the passing over.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Is it not really a spooky story, but it's a good story for Halloween. I like these stories. I've now got some huge caterpillars.
Oh no.
Somebody is really laughing at me because yesterday I discovered my beautiful vine, which was so radiant and so beautiful and so glowing. And I keep looking at it thinking, why are the leaves brown and why is it dying? And then I was standing with my neighbor and he and I saw it at the same time. The entire bush, it was huge, it was a big bush. The entire thing had hundreds and hundreds, if not more, of these, what I thought were caterpillars, but could be centipedes. There were long, black, and very slightly hairy, but they were everywhere. And now I'm looking at it very poor. I'm keeping my fingers crossed it's not destroyed. But boy, did I go at them. So now
how did you
got them
spray them?
all over my carpet, big fat caterpillars that my dad is just saying, watch out for these. Just spooky little thing. Right. So, all right. So
I've got images of them crawling across your carpet now.
they're not really. They're just,
No, I know.
you know, and of course, we had a bat going across your screen, Kay, behind you when this figure came arms up in the air.
Yes.
Just like a bat floating across
like a little wisp, and he was gone.
Yeah. Not so little, actually.
No, it's not.
But
quite verbal.
I think we know who was the culprit. I think it was Charlie who was the culprit. Yes. But he's obviously settled down now, so he's not.
Yes, he's gone to do his business upstairs, work related, I'm hoping.
Okay. Homework related, you hope. Okay.
Maybe.
All right. So, okay. So, let's have a couple more things from the chat room if we've got any. And then Kay and I are going to tell you a spooky story.
All right. Gary says, my golden would stare at my closet door and growl. Heather responded to you saying, it is a group of ladies getting their witchy on. We paraded through the town of Erin. And yes, I am a witch.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We hope you're a good witch, Heather. We really do. We hope you're a good witch.
Yes.
Then we have Judith asking, do you have any spiders there? And how many family members are with you now? Are there any weird creatures?
Oh, I have for me, I just, Dad and my brother, We've got Kay's.
Parents.
Do you know who else we've got here, Kay? Painting away, she tells me still.
Ruby.
So we've got a whole lot of Kay's a lot here.
That's lovely.
We've got Mike, and behind Mike there are a few other people that I think he brought along today. So Chris, just know they're celebrating with us today. We're just all having fun. We're not actually necessarily celebrating ghosts, because I already said I don't believe in them.
Don't believe in them now.
But anyway, we are celebrating. With any excuse to celebrate works for me. And I'm going to start in a minute. I'm going to see if I can open a bottle of spirits, because I think we're ready for the spirits to enter.
Yeah, I wish I could be there and have some with you. It's a dry house here, I think.
Oh, it is? Oh.
I've got a cup of tea.
Oh, all right. Okay. So no whiskey, no brandy, no nothing.
To be honest, I never thought about looking. So I suppose I might, if I'd got up and gone and had a look, I could have found some. I'll pretend.
Okay, if that's fine, just you pretend, sweetie. I'm not going to be pretending. I'm going to be having the real thing. Okay. Anything else, Chris, before we move
One
forward?
last one from Violet.
Oh.
I attended an event in Cornwall last week with the Merry LWY Day, Lude and Obi-Os, which are horse skulls on sticks, who dance with mummers, like Morris dancers, to celebrate ancestors, and at this time of year.
How nice.
Oh, wow. I bet that was fun. I bet that was a really fun thing to do. I mean, there are around the world lots and lots of rituals. In England, talking of rituals, not me, the years before I was born, I'm going to say the 13th, 14th, 15th century, maybe, it would be very important on Halloween, on the night of the correct term is All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
On the night of All Hallows Eve, or the day of All Hallows Eve, it was very, very important that you pin garlic.
Yes.
Above any
door,
any window or door or any entrance, because garlic was meant to keep the witches away. And also, it was very, very important, and this is something that all of you out there who are interested in witches, you need to know. Rosemary is what really keeps witches away.
Yes.
So,
grow it well
to guard us all against maybe the mischievous witches, because we only want good witches in our homes. But I've actually had a real pleasure. I'm thinking of a lady who's come to me years and years ago, and she was a white witch, and they did all sorts of fabulous and wonderful things and had great rituals and were very, very present within the community and doing good things within the community. So,
all very positive.
Yeah, very, very, very positive in so many ways. Now, some of you may have heard this story before, but I don't think, Kay, that you and I have talked about this story together.
No, I don't think we have. No.
So, if you remember, I had a phone call completely out of the blue by this man who said, I've heard about you. I don't know who you are, but I've heard about you and I need your help. And I can't remember if you came with me when we met him in a tea shop.
Yes, I did. I was there.
Okay.
In the tea shop.
So he was probably maybe in his 50s or so. We were much younger then. He was an older man as far as we were concerned, right? We were so young. Anyway, he told me the story about his two sons and their friend. And one of his, no, wait a minute, let me get this story right. One of his sons had bought a cottage.
That's right. An
Was
old
it
one.
15th, 16th century?
Yes, it was an old one. It was hundreds of years old.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 15th century.
Yeah.
It's been renovated quite a lot over the years. Anyway, this man's son bought the cottage. And then he and his brother started a business there. So they would use the cottage as an office. Now, the one son who owned the cottage, he lived there and he slept there. But his brother would come every day through the week to work.
Yeah.
They had a friend who was an artist.
Yeah.
And they allowed him to use one of the rooms in the cottage for his office. So he could do whatever, all sorts of artistic things, whatever he did anyway. And so the three boys were happy. They had a place to stay. They had a place to work. Everything was going fine. The only thing about it was that the young man who owned the cottage would sometimes, in the middle of the night, he'd wake up and it would feel as if somebody was tickling his toes. Now, he would just pull the blankets back over himself and go back to sleep. He didn't think about it. But then if he got up in the middle of the night and he went to the bathroom, there were these odd times when he would sense somebody following him. Now, he didn't say a word of this to anybody. His brother, every time he went upstairs to go to the bathroom or to go to one of the bedrooms, had this feeling, this sense, especially when he was coming down the stairs, that he was being followed. He always felt there was some kind of a shadow somehow lurking over him. He never told anyone. So the two brothers didn't tell each other, and they didn't tell their family, and they didn't tell the young artist either. So one night, it was probably sort of late afternoon. I think it was around 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. The two brothers had gone to their parents' house because they were going to go there for dinner. And the artist stayed behind doing whatever he was doing. Now, part of what he was doing with his artistry was using lights and color. And he had what I can only describe was a special kind of light box. Do you know what that was called?
It was just a light box. It was for graphics.
Okay, so it's a light box that he used for graphics. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, at some point he was using that, and then he suddenly needed the bathroom, and he thought, okay, this is good time. It's getting dark out. So he switched off the light box. He switched the light off in his room and went out into the hallway. And you had to sort of go out into the hallway and partially into the living room to go upstairs to the bathroom. Remember, this is an old house. So he opens the door to the living room. And there in front of him, he describes this, a small man, like so big, standing in the living room, sort of like bobbing up and down like this. Do you remember that?
I do remember him describing that,
describing this old man, this sort of small man, bobbing up and down, right in front of him. Yeah. He says he was so scared that he froze in the doorway, completely froze in the doorway.
As you
And
would.
this man bobbed up and down, and all of a sudden, with no warning whatsoever, went like this and shot up into the ceiling and disappeared. At which point, this young artist turned and bolted out of that house. Now, he was desperate to pee, but he just bolted out of that house, got in his car, and drove to the parents of his friends. He knew his friends would be there. He just banged on the door, opened the door, shot into the house, and he was now blabbering so far, so scared. And he just said to them, I'm never going back. I'm never going back. I'm never going back into that house. Nothing will get me back into that house. And he described to them what he had seen.
Yeah.
At which point, the boy who owned the house said, well, it's really funny because I'm having these things happen to me. And then his brother said, yeah, it's really odd.
So that was the first time they'd all been together talking about it.
And their parents were there listening to them all. And they all got really, really scared and decided that they couldn't possibly go back into this cottage again. So it was the father of the two boys who had called me and said, I don't know you, but I've heard about you. And he invited us to have tea at a little cafe. And he was so worried because he thought we wouldn't believe what he had to say. But he believed it simply because all these young men were terrified.
Yeah.
So he came to me and he asked me, can you go in there? They won't go back. None of them is going to go back into that cottage. They won't go back. They're absolutely terrified. Can you help in some way? So I decided, well, if they want, and I said to the father, I said, if they want my help, unfortunately, they're going to have to go back into the cottage and they're going to have to open it up for me because
you need to get in there.
I need to go in there and see what's going on. And of course, Kay said, and me too, remember?
Oh, yes, of course.
We couldn't let me go by myself, could you?
No.
And anyway, so a few nights later, Kay and I drove to this old cottage and we walked in. Do you remember, Kay, how freezing cold it was in that cottage?
It was.
It was like it was winter time and you could almost feel icicles on your nose.
Yeah, it was a shiverer.
And so we're there, they invite us into the kitchen, they make us tea, and then they start to tell their story. But at one point, I am shivering so badly because I'm so cold in here that I say to them, have you got a problem with your heating? Because there's no heating on in this place. And they looked very sheepishly at us and said, well, we turned the heating off because we thought you'd be able to see the ghost better if it was cold.
Bonkers.
Remember that?
Bonkers.
I mean, people have strange ideas, right?
They do,
anyway,
don't they? Mm.
So I listened to their stories, and each one was very different. They were each different experiences. So then, of course, Gregor was with us, and who do I see next? But this wonderful old man.
Excuse me.
Who, yes, had come to haunt the place. Not exactly. it was years and years ago when the cottage was first built. It was his cottage. And every now and again, he would come back to visit the cottage because there had been so many different renovations. And he'd come back when these three boys had come into the place. He'd come back to take a look at them all. And he'd noticed this very strange light emanating out of a box. And he thought it was really spooky. He thought it might be a ghostly thing. Because you see, he never considered himself a ghost.
No.
He was in the spirit world, just coming back to check on his beloved cottage from time to time. And he'd become fascinated with this light box that this young artist was using. Consequently, he'd not hidden himself away. And the young artist walked into the living room, and the old guy said to me, he said, I didn't mean to scare any of them. Certainly that was not my intention. But he said, I just wanted to know what that spooky light was. So I don't know if you want to add to that, Kay, or add anything to that. But
if I can talk, pardon me.
Well, I'll give you a minute then. And
I don't know what's going on.
And so
I know that they were all very nervous.
they were extremely nervous to begin with.
And they talked about, you explained as to why they were seeing the man as such a small man.
Yeah.
That struck me as very interesting.
Yeah.
The different dimensions.
But if you also remember, when I'd finished talking to the old man, well, then there was the artist's grandfather who wanted to say hello to him. And then there were the boys' grandparents who wanted to say hello to him. Yeah. And then they all wanted to give messages, which they took back to their families. Yeah. And it became quite a little...
It was a party, wasn't it? It became
a party with all
and it did warm up, didn't it?
Yeah, because they put the heating on. I said to them, go put the heating on. I'm not sitting in this freezing cold house. Go put the heating on, which they did. And then at one point, I had to ask, okay, so do I need to ask this wonderful old man who was the original owner of the cottage, I said to the boys, do I need to ask him to leave you alone? And the three of them in unison said, no, we don't want him to go. We love having him here. And the owner, the boy who owned the cottage, says he can come and tickle my feet anytime. Because we'd explained who he was. We'd explained what he was doing there. Suddenly the fear and the nervousness completely disappeared. And they all thought how great it was that they'd actually got their own special ghost who would
and they were excited about him, weren't they?
Yeah, very, very excited. Yeah.
And for something that they were quite fearful about, it suddenly switched quite quickly, didn't it?
Yeah. They went from being absolutely terrified to then I think fascinated, and then to wow,
it's real.
Is this really happening?
Yeah.
And it was good that Kay and I shared it, and
it was a big deal, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah. And I heard from them a while later to say how great the cottage was and how well they were all getting on, and that the business was becoming successful, but they just loved the idea of having their own special ghost who wasn't a ghost at all, who would come and visit them from time to time.
And wasn't there something about a tree growing through the middle of the house?
A what?
A tree. The old man was talking about a tree that was growing through the middle of the house.
Used to grow through the middle of the house. That's right. He told us all sorts of things about the cottage that the boys were able to verify, later about the history of the cottage and so on. Okay, Chris, how are we doing? Because I know we're nearly to time here.
You are
kidding?
nearly to time. We have a few more comments in here.
Go ahead.
Rhonda says she's loving this story and she's mixing up some rum punch right now.
Oh,
Ooh,
sounds good.
Then Barbara says, my son has spirits living in his house and he loves it. So do all the kids.
nice.
The other night he was watching a straw twirling in a glass. He will
Oh.
never ask them to leave.
Oh, I love that.
Nice.
And how nice that your son is very accepting of that. Now, I just need to point out, you're calling them spirits, and they are people. I always refer to people in the spirit world because, you know, we know them, we love them, what have you. Sometimes we don't know them, but, you know, they are people. They have not exactly a physical body, but they have the body which is the same shape and size as the physical body. It's called the etheric body or the spirit body. But you will never hear me say, I have spirits here. We have my daddy and my brother who are waving and blowing kisses at me. We've got Mike, who's just so happy to be here, Chris. And okay, we've got all of your lot. I mean, there's a whole load of people coming in behind me,
That's
especially
lovely.
there for you.
That's lovely.
My dad says to all of you, everybody listening, Grey Eagle, it's true that Grey Eagle says your world needs gentleness. He's saying, I did not know that when I was here. I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior. And gentleness didn't really connect, although it really does. And so he's just reiterating what Grey Eagle tells us. Just remember, everyone, our world needs gentleness and it needs kindness. And this is what we're going to go out on this Halloween evening. We're going to go out with that wonderful thought that even when we're fighting the good fight, even when we're dealing with stuff, we can still give gentleness when we need it. Chris, are there any other comments?
Mitchell's saying hello and happy Halloween.
Is this my Australia, Mitchell?
Yes, it is.
Hi, darling. How are you? Lovely to hear from you.
He says it's so great to be watching live.
Good. Well, good.
Judith wonders, didn't you have a number of encounters with a tiny dwarf man? You shared that with us at one point. I remember your encounters vividly.
He wasn't a dwarf. He was a very small man who used to sit on the bonnet. In America, you call it the hood. We call it in England the bonnet of the car. And he was my travel guide. And yes, you're exactly right. Exactly right.
Did he have a tam o' shanter?
Yes. No. That was somebody else entirely. That was my Scotsman.
Okay.
Anyway, keep going, Chris. Couple more.
Annika says, great story. Rhonda says, wonderful story and happy Halloween all.
Happy Halloween.
Well, I think that's the moment that we have to say thank you for joining us, everyone, and thank you for participating. And I hope you all have a happy Halloween. I think Halloween's gone for Australia. I think it might have been yesterday for them or something. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, for all of you who are having parties for whatever reason, have wonderful celebrations. I'd like to say thank you to Chris, as always, great facilitating, and Mike's blowing your kisses. I'm sure is going to be, around for a little bit longer. And then, of course, Kay, thank you so much to you. I know you've got your grandson there, so I really, really appreciate that you took.
Oh no, he'll be watching it upstairs on YouTube.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Charlie, for being so great and letting your grandmother do her stuff. For those of you who are wondering who is Kay to me, she's my oldest. Not that you're old.
I am.
No, but I'm older than you. But she is my oldest and closest friend, and
We've chugged along, haven't we, for 40 years?
Haven't we had some experience? And next month, it's usually the last Friday in the month, Kay and I do a cracking up. So if you want to join us the last Friday of every month, just if you want to know more information, just go to the website. You can find it, all the information there, or email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com, and we shall send you all the information you need. For those of you who are local, we're going to be in a couple of weeks on the 14th of November. I'm going to be there live, talking to dead people who aren't really dead at all. So in the meantime, everybody, have a great rest of the evening. Enjoy your celebrations. Thank you all so much for joining us. And again, special thanks to Kay, and we'll see you next time.
My pleasure.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.